live, go live, go live, go live, go live. You're live. Go live, go live, go live, go live, go live. All right. The guru is back again. I know I just went live and we talked about, just topics and stuff that I wanted to talk about. But I'm going live right now because we're going to talk about Waiver Wire Wednesday. This is important. We're going into week 13. We're a few weeks away from what 3 games? I think we like 3 games away from fantasy playoffs. Now the fantasy app that I'm using is the NFL fantasy, so it's not speaking for you Yahoo fantasy dudes, the guys that's playing the ESPN. I know they got people that do the ESPN joint too. This not for y'all. This is for the people that's in the NFL fantasy app. We're gonna talk about some players, some notable players, and people that you might not want to start this week. People you might want to start this week. People you might want to go flex. People you might want to get about the waiver wire right quick. Do what you got to do. But let's get into it. Ain't gonna take too much time. The headphones on for this one. Let's talk about some shit real quick, quick. Let's go. All right. Notable. The Chargers game has moved. The Chargers in a Miami game has moved to Sunday night. That's a Sunday night football game now. It's not a midday, so that's not gonna be at 3:25. I think they had a midday game. I think they moving their game. That's not this week though. That's not this week. That's a couple weeks. I think that's next week. They're gonna have the primetime game. Uh, but let's get into it, man. Damian Pierce is one of the guys I want to talk about. I know Damian Pierce ain't really been balling. If you got Damian Pierce, I know you probably like Trev. I'm ready to trade this motherfucker. I know the deadline is over. What can I do? What should I do? This week, start him. I know he ain't been playing good. I know. But you got to start him this week. And the reason why is because he's playing against Cleveland. And Cleveland, as a team, as a running team, they rank 31 for running backs in fantasy football. So let's see what the next gen stats say about him. So if you got Damian Pierce, you should be starting him against Cleveland. Look what the kid Rashad White for the Buccaneers went. Man, he went crazy. He went bananas. Dude lost his mind. He killed them. Let's see here. Damian Pierce. All right. Yeah, they projecting Damian Pierce for 13 points this week, 13.78. And the Browns averaged 29 points, 2 running backs. And they're ranked number 31. There's only 32 teams in the league. So, what can you do? Like, you got to start him this week. I mean, they're a bad running defense. You have to start him this week. Let's see. Damian Pierce was one of the guys that I was thinking about. Pat Fryermuth, if you have him, you might want to start him this week. He's playing Atlanta. Atlanta's like terrible against tight ends. They've been giving up nothing but points to tight ends. Now, Brandon Ayuk, if you have Brandon Ayuk this week, you might want to watch out flexing dude or playing him. He's about to play against Miami, and I know you're like, wow, Trey, Miami give up points. Yeah, Miami do give up points, but they cornerbacks are serious, bro. Like, they corners are real. Now, I know, and Christian McCaffrey is, I don't think he's actually going to play due to a knee injury that he's suffering. And plus, Elijah Mitchell is hurt. So the run right now for the 49ers is not really a concern. So if the Dolphins could get to the quarterback and pressure Jimmy G, you watch a couple interceptions happen. I'm just saying. Watch. Cowboys defense, you start them every week. Let's see. Jamal Williams against Jacksonville. I would definitely start Jamal Williams against Jacksonville. Jacksonville got good linebackers, but Detroit is on a come up. They up right now, bro. Detroit is just all the way up right now. Like the team is just balling. Like it wasn't what, like, you thinking they getting rid of TJ Hawkinson. How are they still gonna continue this onslaught? They did. Like they did. They continued it. They continued it. They continued to ball out and put up numbers. they believe in their team, man, and their coach got them playing. So I I for sure would start Jamal Williams this week. Plus, I think he's like second in the league in touchdowns. Shit, he might even be leading the league in touchdowns. So I would definitely be starting him. Um, Patriots defense has a tough matchup this week against Buffalo. So if you have either one of those defenses, I would probably shop a safer option. But just know this: the Patriots have allowed only 3 touchdowns the entire season to running backs. And Buffalo doesn't have the greatest set of running backs. They're not bad, but against a run defense like the Patriots, it's the same situation like with Miami. If the Patriots could get to the quarterback and cause these guys, get Josh Allen to throw an interception, which he's capable of too. He's not perfect. Which is going to be the issue is Josh Allen getting out of the pocket on New England. We've seen how well that worked for Justin Fields. So getting out of the pocket might work for him. But if I had either one of those defenses, I don't know. That's if you start the Patriots defense, of course, because they're number one. But if you have Buffalo's defense, I don't shit. I don't even know about starting the Patriots defense against Buffalo, man. Buffalo could have a great game. Be wary about starting either one of these defenses. But if you got the Cowboys, you starting them every week, of course. Cowboys is playing Indy. Indy has just been given they rank 32 against defenses. So they've been giving defenses the most fantasy points all season long. So I would definitely be starting them. Let's see, it was a couple other people I was looking at. Amari Cooper. I know Amari Cooper has been balling. This is Deshaun Watson's first game back, and it's in Houston. Not only that, yeah, it's in Houston. So he's about to go back for his first game in Houston amongst a crowd that is about to boo the shit out of Deshaun Watson. They're going to boo him the entire game, bro. Be ready for that. Like, Amari Cooper, I know if you have him, you're like, Trev, but I got to start him. If you got another option, I would probably start another option, bro. Houston is about to play so hard. They're the worst run defense in the league, and they're about to play against Nick Chubb. They're going to give Nick Chubb a run for his fucking money. I can guarantee that shit. Watch. I will be wary about starting Amari Cooper, man. I know if you got him, you're gonna start him. If you got him like Trev, you tripping, man. I know you trying to call yourself a guru and you think you this and this. I know. Listen to I'm telling you. All right. Phone's going crazy. Let's see. Phone's still going crazy. All right. Sending out text messages live. Talking about that I just had. But look, let's keep moving. Let's talk about some more guys that we got up here. Kenyon Drake against Denver. No, I would not start Kenyon Drake against Denver. I would leave Kenyon Drake on your bench. Don't flex him out. Just don't do it. I just wouldn't flex him this week. I would leave Kenyon Drake where he is, man. Tyler Higbee is playing against Seattle. This is a divisional game. I think Tyler Higbee can have a bounce back game, but it's going to be tough to do that if Matt Stafford doesn't start. You know what I mean? Like the team is they're getting riddled with injuries. They already started like the season with 3 offensive line out. So now you got Cooper Kupp out. Shit is starting to look real weird. So Tyler Higbee, you may be able to start him, but I probably wouldn't if Matt Stafford doesn't start. Kenyon Drake, like I said, don't start him against Denver. I wouldn't do that at all. And Bengals defense, man. They've been off and on lately. They're good defense, bro. They're good defense. But this week they playing Kansas City. Don't start that defense. Like, don't start that defense, man. Um, Jamar Chase is coming back this week. I don't know in what capacity. So I would watch throughout the week how he progresses and what he's going to go through with the team. If he's going to really be practicing, how his reps are going to be. Is he taking full reps? Is he okay? Before I would just say go ahead and start him. So I will watch out for that. If you got any Panthers players, they're on a bye week. Adam Thielen had a good game last week. He ain't gonna have one this week. He's playing the Jets. Adam Thielen is not gonna have a good game this week. I would not start him this week at all. Um, I would look past Adam Thielen, and I know he's been kind of hot and cold. He was hot last week. He was hot the week before that. Here comes his cold week this week against the Jets. Trust me, I would not start Adam Thielen. Um, Plane over my fucking head. There we go. In the man cave, y'all. Getting it in. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling, though. All right. David Montgomery. I know he had a good week last week because Justin Fields was out because of the shoulder. So I would keep an eye on that shit too. Um, I would keep an eye on that shit either way. Like just watch his progression, man. Like watch Justin Fields' progression this week, because if you have David Montgomery, Justin Fields playing, that's going to depend on how productive David Montgomery is going to be for you. So if you have David, what I would do is I will pay attention to Justin Fields. If he's going to play, then I would be wary about starting David Montgomery. But if he's not going to play, then I would definitely start him because he's going to run the ball and he's going to get the ball. He's a key part of that offense, and the only reason why he doesn't get the ball when Justin Fields is in because he's taking the run plays. It's working for him. Can't hate him for that, but I would keep an eye on that as well. Delvin Cook, I know he's been a little hot and cold. Last week he ran into that Patriots defense. They stuffed his ass on the goal line like 3 plays in a row. They wasn't having that shit. Um, so he could bounce back this week against the Jets. He may give you a touchdown, but the Jets, like I said, they lock down. They lock down the deep end of the field. So once you get to the second level of their defense, you in no man's land, bro. Like it's tough to score on them. It's a reason why teams are struggling against the Jets, and the Jets is okay with only scoring 16 and 17 points a game and winning. So be wary about starting Delvin Cook. I know if you have him and he's your main option, you got to go with who you got to go with. But if you have a better option with a better matchup, I would look at that. At least consider it. Um, let's see. Who else we got out here? Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is playing against the Rams. Now, Kenneth Walker, he looked good last week. If you have Kenneth Walker, he looked damn good. I have Kenneth Walker on one of my teams in out of 3 of the leagues I'm in. He's been pretty good, but like the last month, not so great. But the last game, he had 2 touchdowns, and that's all he had. Um, his point score looked real high, but when you go and look at his numbers, like I'm gonna look at his numbers right now. He let's see, in his stats, it showed he had 16.9, right? He touched the ball 14 times, 26 carries. He had 2 touchdowns. He only had 26 rushing yards. 14 attempts. He only had 26 rushing yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. So you're like, damn, he really didn't have a good game. No, he didn't. What happens is on that team, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf put them in the red zone, just like Tampa Bay does with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They put them in the red zone so where Leonard Fournette could tiptoe in the end zone. The Saints used to do the same thing before we was riddled with injuries. Alvin Kamara would break one, catch a pass out the backfield, screenplay. Mike Thomas would get us down the field. We would stretch the field, get to the red zone, and here you go, Mark Ingram. Just walking in. It's 3 yards. So when you start seeing that shit repeatedly happen for a team, that it's good football. It's just good football. So Kenneth Walker may not give you a fucking 100 yards a week, but he's gonna be productive. He's gonna always be in a red zone. His team just scored 40 fucking points this week. Like, you don't want to start him? I'll start him. So I would start Kenneth Walker for sure. Don't let his numbers, the 14, 15 points, don't let that be worried. He's not a running back one. Number one, lower your expectations for him. He's a rookie. He should be a flex option or maybe a running back two, but he should not be your running back one. You should not be dependent on Kenneth Walker to win you your league. He's not going to do that. That's not who he is. But he's a great flex option. Chris Godwin, keep starting. He's playing the Saints this week. Just hope just hope 19 is on it. Just hope number 19 is on it, and then he'll score all the points in the world. But he's playing against the Saints. It's a Monday night game. Now be wary, it's a divisional game. So the Saints can step up, they can come in and play fucking hard, especially against Tom Brady, and Dennis Allen calls a good game against the Buccaneers. He just has their number. Some coaches they have it, Some teams just have your number, and we, as the Saints goes, they have the Buccaneers number. No team gets Tom Brady more frustrated than the Saints. So, yeah, start Chris Godwin. Start him against the Saints. We're bad right now. But you can't be upset if he gets fucking 14 points for you or 12 points for you. If he don't give you them big numbers like he has been the last couple of weeks, you can't really be upset because that Saints defense, like I said, they just geared just to beat the Buccaneers. Like they only play to beat the Bucs. Leonard Fournette is playing against the Saints. As bad as the Saints been, we've been pretty good against the run. Not too many running backs been getting off on us. We shut tight ends completely down. Like, tight ends don't do well on us at all. But Leonard Fournette is going to be playing against us in that game. If you got Rachaad White, I would probably start Rachaad White. I would just pay attention to Leonard Fournette's injury. I don't know how he's progressing with that, but I would pay attention to his injury for sure. Now, I talked about the Eagles on my podcast earlier when I went live. We just talked, random football shit. We talked about the Eagles being a powerhouse and in the power rankings and just being this unstoppable team. The Eagles is playing Tennessee. Now, Tennessee, this is, A.J. Brown, revenge game. Revenge games, that shit is real. A.J. Brown might get the fuck off this game. But watch out for the Eagles defense, man. They playing Tennessee. Tennessee is just okay with having a close game. They all right with the game, being 17-17 in the fourth quarter. They okay with that. And teams that are okay playing like that, you gotta watch. You gotta watch that. It may be a low scoring game. It could work out for you, but you never know. Latavius Murray, man, Latavius Murray. If you got that, leave him where you at. Let's see. We talked about Rachaad White. Might want to start him. Let's see who else. Now, flex options, Devontae Smith is out there. Curtis Samuels is out there. You might want to start him. You could flex him. You can do some things with you could flex either one of those guys. Devontae Smith has kind of been on the up, and he's playing Tennessee, who isn't particularly good against the pass. And just expect Tennessee to zone in on A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith could give you some great production in this game. Curtis Samuels is playing against the Giants. This is a divisional game. This could be a good game to start Curtis Samuels, man. The Giants have been looking real vulnerable down the field. Another guy that just had a good week this past week, Derek Carr. If you got Derek Carr, I would probably start Derek Carr this week. He's starting to click. A little click action. They meshing. They clicking, man. They doing the damn thing. I ain't lying. Like, at first I was like, what the hell, bro? Like, y'all couldn't find the end zone if it was at your house. Like if your house was the end zone, you couldn't even find it. Like, you wouldn't score. And then when you did score, afterwards, you would just let the other team just score. I didn't know what was going on with that. So the Raiders, What? Just got that new adult dating chat. No, I don't need none of that. Forgot it. Um, so let's move on. Um, so Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they both playing a pretty good defense this week, man. They playing 49ers. So if you got Tyreek Hill, you start them. If you got Jalen Waddle, you better start them. I'm not telling you to bench them either way because these guys been putting up super productive numbers, and their quarterback is number one in every category across the board as a quarterback. So I would definitely start any Miami wide receiver, tight end, running back, start them. Um, let's see. We talked about David Montgomery. Yeah, we talked about David Montgomery. Um, we're gonna keep an eye on Raheem Mostert's knee, see how that plays out. If he's good to go, I would start him. Um, I would definitely start him. Alvin Kamara is having a little issue. Um, I would keep an eye on that, and he also hasn't been playing too well. Um, that's just been an ongoing thing with the team as a whole. Let's see. Who's my next guy up? My next guy up. I'm going through my list, y'all. David Njoku. Like I said, man, the Browns are playing Houston. If you got any Browns players, the only ones I would probably start would be David Njoku and Nick Chubb. I wouldn't start any other Browns players, man. I would stay away from that. Keenan Allen is back. I would definitely put Keenan Allen back in your lineup if you have him. Joe Mixon looked like he's cleared to go. Coming out of concussion protocol. I think he's geared to go. Um, Mark Andrews have a tough matchup this week. He's playing against the Broncos. I know if you got Mark Andrews, you're starting him, but just you got another option, man. That's why I always mention these things. Um, the Vikings defense is playing against the Jets, so I would watch that as well. The Jets ain't really been playing great offensively, but this kid Mike White looks pretty good. Like if you got Mike White, you might want to if you want to stream somebody this week, you really desperate for a win. Shit, you might want to go get Mike White, Jets third string quarterback, third string. You heard me. Tony Pollard, man, start him this week against Indy. Start him. You need to start Tony Pollard this week. I know last week he didn't have a great game, but start him this week. Greg Dulcich, the tight end, right end for the Broncos. I would start him. He's just been having good success. I know last week it wasn't the numbers that he's been putting up, but I would definitely start him. Josh Jacobs has just been on an absolute tear. Uh, if you got Josh Jacobs right now, man, you just happy. You're just a happy person right now. He's been the bane of my existence in fantasy football. I'm in 3 leagues, and I just feel like I've been playing him like every week. He's averaging 22 points a game. He had 48 points last game, 19 the game before that, 22 before that, 11 before that, 7, 36, 30, 34, 14. Like he's been going absolutely crazy. He's got 1,100 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns. Man, the dude is going crazy. He's playing the Chargers. Expect him to have another good game. Um, expect him to have another good game. The Chargers have been giving up the run, but he has an aggravated calf strain, so that's one thing that he may be questionable for. So I would keep an eye out for that too. An aggravated calf strain. Man, these dudes be getting hurt. So yeah, Josh Jacobs. Cordero Patterson, I wouldn't start him this week against Pittsburgh. Definitely, I would bench him. Brandon Cooks against Cleveland. If you got Brandon Cooks, if you have a better option, always look for it. But he's a good player to flex. I know Najee Harris has been actually playing pretty good as of late. So, you can keep playing with Najee. Najee isn't bad right now. He's been doing the Najee thing, giving you about 12 to 11 points a game. And then if he gets a touchdown, that usually turns into like 16, 17, 18 points. So yeah, you got Najee out there. You can flex him if you got a better option. I definitely would. I know he's suffering like a foot injury right now as well. And there's no update on him right now, and he's been playing with that foot injury, and he also has an abdomen injury right now as well. So I would keep an eye on that. If you got Jonathan Taylor, you got to be happy as shit because he's just man, he he just brushed a high ankle sprain off like it was a tick, like it was get off me, out of here, running the ball. Um, Gerald Everett seems to be a good option again. That offense looked like it's coming back. Miles Sanders doesn't really have the best matchup this week. I know he put up numbers last week, but he doesn't really have the best matchup this week. Um, he's playing Tennessee, and that Tennessee's run defense is pretty heavy. So that's one thing I would definitely watch right now. Um, I would definitely watch that right now. Like, Miles Sanders is a guy that I've been flexing in and out of my lineup. And he's been doing pretty good for me, but you know how it could be. He's another player that's hot and cold. He's almost touchdown dependent. And when they get in the red zone, you got to worry about Jalen Hurts taking the touchdown from him. So Mike Evans, he hasn't really been playing that well, but this could be a bounce back game for him against the Saints. Against the Saints, this could be a good bounce back game for him. Maybe this is what he needs. Maybe this is what the doctor ordered, as they say. Um, this might be a good bounce back game for him. I have him in one league, and he just has not been playing well. I think the dude is just kind of depressed right now. He's been real down on himself. He has not been playing well. So I would, if you got a better option, go for it. But this could be a good breakout game for him. Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard is playing against Chicago. I was flexing this week for sure. I flexed him a couple weeks in another league, in one of my leagues that I'm in. I think I'm in third place in that league as well. And I flexed him in that league, and he did good for me. I think I started him like 2 weeks at flex, and then moved him out once they went into, I think, they bye week. Um, Mike Williams is still out. Taysom Hill is playing Tampa. I would expect Taysom Hill to start ramping up in production because of Alvin Kamara, and there's so many guys out. So they're expecting him to do a little bit more than he normally does. So I would definitely look at Taysom Hill this week as a viable option at tight end because they are going to try to win, man. They're going to try to win, and they're definitely going to use Taysom Hill to do that. But Kamara is one that you should be keeping an eye on. We talked about Brandon Ayuk against Miami. If you got a better option, I would probably go with it. But Brandon Ayuk has been putting up pretty good production, especially since they got Christian McCaffrey. But if Christian McCaffrey isn't playing, and then Elijah Mitchell is also hurt, and you guys are about to play against the two running backs that you just traded away, it's going to be a tough game for the 49ers, man. I probably would not start Brandon Ayuk this week. If you have another option, start him. Let's go. We moving on. Jeff Wilson, start him until otherwise. DeAndre Swift looked like he's back in the motions. I will probably get Ezekiel Elliott and DeAndre Swift back in your lineup for sure. Michael Pittman, I would bench Michael Pittman until you start seeing production. If you don't see production in the next week or two, it just might be it for Michael Pittman. He just may not have it this season because he's looking pretty bad. Him and Matt Ryan kind of got into it. It was pretty pissed off. But let's see here. All right. Kirk Cousins against the Jets. Not this week, man. This ain't gonna be Kirk's week. This week, I wouldn't start Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't start Devin Singletary. I would for Devin Singletary. I'm just going through a list of guys that's in my league. So if you probably in my league, you watch this shit, you'll be like, damn, Trev, appreciate the help. Travis Etienne is playing against Detroit. He says he's fine and he's good to go. He's playing against Detroit. Detroit has been, they've been playing on a high, so I would definitely watch starting him. But if you got Travis Etienne, he's been giving you good production. Why not? Like, you bench him until the player tells you you need to bench him. Debo Samuels is another guy. He's playing against Miami. Expect him to have a little bit more production as well. The team is not going to have their running back, so Debo is going to be a lot more active, man. Um, he's going to be getting a lot more touches now. Trevor Lawrence might be a quarterback that you want to start this week against Detroit. Um, I know Detroit has been playing on that natural high, but Trevor Lawrence has been playing on a natural high as of late too. I think the second part portion of his season like really helped him out. Matt Stafford, I don't think Matt is gonna play. Um, AJ Dillon has been giving good production as of late as well. You can try to flex him, but they're playing against Chicago, who's been pretty bad against the run. So this, if you're gonna start AJ Dillon or flex AJ Dillon, this would be the week to do it. We already talked about Adam Thielen. Would not do it. Would not do it against the Jets. Not at all. I wouldn't even think about doing it against the Jets. Not starting him. Not at all, man. Um, Justin Herbert, he seems to be getting his weapons back. I will put Justin Herbert back in my lineup if you wasn't starting him because he was missing some guys. Jamar Chase, like I said, I talked about Jamar Chase earlier. Jamar Chase is a baller, man. We all know what he's capable of and what he can do. But let's see, you can start him if you got him. Maybe just keep an eye on his injury and how they report that throughout the week. Now Gabe Davis is playing New England. Oh man, he could have a good game, but Gabe Davis can shit a brick. Like he can give you a terrible game, one of those 5 point Gabe Davis games. But New England, this is a Thursday night game. New England could, they can man up. They didn't do pretty. They didn't do well against the pass last week, but I expect them to do a little bit this week because this team, the Buffalo Bills, don't really have a premier back or a back that could just really break out. And New England they're exceptional at stopping running backs. So if they can just get to your quarterback, it's gonna be a problem, man. Um, let's see. Conklin. This would be a good week to start Conklin. I would start Conklin. I would start Terry McLaurin against the Giants. I wouldn't start AJ Gibson though, not against the Giants. Um, Tua's playing San Fran. I would definitely start Tua if he's an option for you. Start Tua, start Tony Pollard. Um, Tyler Boyd is on the bench until otherwise. He has not been productive, especially in the absence of Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase is coming back. So why would you start him now? It's not like he's going to be more productive because Jamar Chase is out there. Maybe Jamar Chase picks up some more coverage and Tyler Boyd starts the ball, but I would bench him this week. Um, let's see. Drake London against Pittsburgh. This will be a good week to start Drake London. Um, they're going to have to keep up with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is starting to score, and they're going to have to keep up with that. And in order to do that, you're going to have to throw the ball because Pittsburgh is stopping the run. And I would definitely start Drake London this week, man, for sure. Like he's a great option. Um, we already know about the top guys. I want to get into some other guys. Christian Kirk, he's playing Detroit. This would be a good week to stream him at flex for sure. I would stream him. Jahan Johnson. Jahan, yeah. Am I saying dude's name right? Let me see. Am I saying my guy's name right? Let's see. Jawan Johnson. Jawan Johnson. I saying Jahan Johnson. I'm about the guy that plays for Washington, Jahan Dotson. This is Jawan Johnson. He's the tight end for the Saints. He's been hot and cold. Um, and the reason being is because he's splitting the time with another tight end and also Taysom Hill. I probably wouldn't start him this week. That would be something I'd stay away from. Aaron Rodgers against Chicago. If he's an option for you, I would think about it, but I know he's like favoring like his hand or something like that. So I would definitely, I would look out for his injury report. But Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't start him if you have another option, man. Like they've been playing pretty good. Don't get me wrong, he's been throwing touchdowns, but they're playing against Chicago, and he usually does play well against Chicago. So if it is a week that you're gonna start him, this will be the week to do it. But if you have another option, I would go with that. I wouldn't start Cordero Patterson, not against Pittsburgh. Tyler Lockett against the Rams, I would start him. I feel like Seattle's gonna have time of possession, and Tyler Lockett has just been playing good football. Him and DK Metcalf together on opposite sides of the field, that's just been turning out pretty good. Um, Tampa's defense is a good start this week, most definitely. And Cortland Sutton, if you've been benching Cortland Sutton, this might be the one time he can come out and shine for you, man. Cortland Sutton could definitely come out and shine for you. This may be the only week to do it. This might be the only week to do it, man. Let's see here. Let's see. Geno Smith playing against the Rams. I would start Geno. I would start Geno against the Rams. He's been playing pretty good. Cole Kmet. If Justin Fields comes back and he's okay, I would start Cole Kmet, but I would keep an eye on the Justin Field injury. Um, yeah, man. Let's see. I think that might do it. That's all the guys I kind of wanted to talk about. Everybody else is, at this point in the league, your waiver wire pickups are starting to get real thin. Um, we went over tons of guys to flex, but let's see if there's some other people out there. I know I went over some people that we can that you guys can flex. Maybe you wanted to pick up, but let's see. If you had Jacoby Brissett and he was balling for you, sorry, he's gone. Jared Goff, if you're looking for a quarterback, you need some luck on your side. Jared Goff is playing against Jacksonville. They rank number 27 in fantasy for giving up points. Now, Trevor Lawrence, he's playing against Detroit. Detroit is 32. They're ranked number 32 for points for quarterbacks. So that's something I would probably look into as well. If you're looking to stream a quarterback this week, one of those two guys wouldn't be bad, or even Mike White. Mike White, man. Mike White for sure. He seems like he's got his shit together. Mike White seems like he knows what he's doing, man. Ryan Tannehill seems like he's been playing pretty good, but he's playing Philly this week, so I would stay away from starting him if you was thinking about streaming him this week. But Christian Watson seems to be a good viable option right now. That kid seems like he's just getting a touchdown every game. I said I didn't think it was going to work out. Shit, and he got one. He proved me wrong. But Christian Watson seems to be like another good guy that you may want to stream this week. I know people going in on Pacheco, but I will wait for that to develop first to see where that see where that leads out. That may not go anywhere, but I will wait to see how that leads up. Let's see who's out there. I think that's it for running backs. Brian Robinson, he's playing against the Giants. I will watch that. I don't think I would start Brian Robinson against the Giants, and they've been splitting the backs. They've been splitting the carries between like 3 backs on that team as well. Garrett Wilson might be a good start this week against Minnesota. Devontae Smith against Tennessee. Zay Jones, the receiver for the Jaguars, he may be a good start against Detroit. Terry McLaurin, I would start him against the Giants, and I would start Christian Watson against Chicago. Now, a good sleeper as well is Joshua Palmer, who's the wide receiver for the Chargers, and I think Mike Williams is still out. So Josh Palmer will be a damn good stream, man. Deontay Johnson, stay away from him, but he is playing against Atlanta, so I don't know, man. Like, these are guys. There's one guy I do want to talk about is Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks is the wide receiver for the Titans. He's a rookie, got drafted this season. His last 2 games was 18 and 17. He played against Green Bay, ranked number 11, and then he played against Cincinnati, ranked number 5, right? He put up 17 points against Natty. Now, he's playing against Philly. Philly's ranked number 9. They're worse than Cincinnati. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and ball out, but they're playing Philly this week, and the kid might go out there and shine. Like he really might go out there and ball. This kid is starting to come into his own, and like I said, Ryan Tannehill is looking pretty good as of late. So Traylon Burks, that's one of my sleepers for you right there. It's probably the sleeper for you. Traylon Burks. Traylon Burks. He's a wide receiver, rookie wide receiver for the Titans. And let's see. Tight ends who's still out there. Njoku. David Njoku, I would definitely go out and get him. Start him this week. Greg Dulcich, I would definitely go out and get Dulcich and start him this week against Baltimore. Evan Ingram against Detroit, I would definitely start Evan Ingram this week if you can go get him out of the waiver wire if he's available. These are good streaming options if you're really just trying to get a guy to give you some luck. You know what I mean? Like if you really just need, you need a stroke of luck right now. You really need to get this W. You may be able to get a little lucky. I told y'all last week about Mike Badgley. Was the kicker for Detroit. I told y'all he was going to put up points, and he did. He put up 7. Not a lot, but he put up 7. And I think he kicked like a stupid long field goal, too, like not almost 50. Let's see. I think that does it, man. We went through quarterbacks. We went through running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, kickers. We all talked about a few kickers, but at this point in the game, you basically have your kicker and you're geared up and you're good to go. But let's meet up again. We'll go live probably tomorrow again, and we'll talk a little bit more about some fantasy football. But this was just, a little talk about some fantasy, who to start, who to sit, who to flex, what options are out there, who you might want to start this week. But Guru's out, man. It was always a pleasure. Till next time.